Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Tommy Daniel.
And I'm Shay Daniels.
Thank you. Okay, so I said I was going to be doing a series of videos relating to like marriage as we celebrate our second wedding anniversary, and this is the second of that. My video last week, if you haven't seen it, please check it out. I had my sister on and we spoke about whether or not you should borrow money for your wedding, and I think it's definitely a good one, so you should check that out. Okay, now to today's video. We're going to be reviewing, I guess, our 2 years of being married.
Yep.
We put a few questions together, and hopefully that kind of gives you a bit of insight, and you can kind of learn a bit more about me and us, and more especially like about marriage, and hopefully it sheds some positive light on marriage, which is kind of different from what we hear a lot these days. Okay, so I've got all my questions on this piece of paper here, so I'm just going to be going through questions. You ready?
Yep.
Good. Okay, so describe in 3 words the best part of being married. Do you want to go first?
No, you go first.
Okay, I think for me, the number one thing is having a gist partner. Gist partner / gossip partner. For me, this is me.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like that. We get to talk about different things, like we just basically, I can like bear all. Obviously before marriage, like you kind of like not wanting to talk too much because you don't want to gossip and stuff. So it's not gossip because we're one, right? So like I really enjoy that. Honestly, like for the most part, things that happen, people, let's believe that we've spoken about you, we've spoken about what happened.
Nothing in a bad
Not
way.
in a bad way. We're just analyzing and building our connection, using you. Yeah, I like that. And secondly, I think I like the fact that having someone to build together with and to do life with, really. I think it was nice, like being single, enjoying myself, making decisions on your own. But since being married, I've really liked or enjoyed the aspect of having someone where it's not just you anymore. Like it's not just you to go through like life anymore. It's not just you to go through challenges by yourself anymore, to cry. Like it's just someone that you can literally like hold their hands and work together with, and both of you are in agreement and you're on the same page. So I really like that about marriage, or maybe about being married to you. And the third thing will be that's how being married. Third thing will be, I think it's fun. Like I really like being married to you. Yeah, I think it's just the fun part. Yeah. How about you? So three words. Oh, well, yeah, that was 3 words. Well, yeah.
I think yes, I definitely agree on one of yours. I think the first one you mentioned, somebody to talk with. I think the companionship is something that I do enjoy.
Speak up a bit. Sorry.
I do enjoy the companionship as one of the things in marriage. The second thing I enjoy about marriage is sex. Okay. Yeah, I mean it's good, especially if you abstain from sex, until marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was good, and fulfilling, and it gets better by the day. And the third part is I enjoy having somebody that I can agree with, regarding important things and purpose. Yeah.
Okay. I certainly didn't see that one coming, but okay. So I want us to compare year 1 to year 2.
Yeah.
Do you what's different for you? Just compare like briefly. I'm trying not to make the video too long.
Yeah. Year 1 for me was a lot of getting to know and understanding, and if anything, I think the picture that comes to mind is trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. There had to be a lot of friction, a lot of edge cutting and all of that. But I think for me, year 2 has just been easier. Now you know what to do. Now you know what the love language, to speak. You know what to do. And then it just feels like there's a more designated role assignment, sort of. Yeah.
Like we've kind of settled into our roles.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's pretty much the same for me. Like year 1, I think year 1 was good. However, year two has been better because we haven't had as much like frictions or arguments or disagreements as we did in year one, particularly like in the beginning. So and I think that definitely comes from that, knowing, getting to know each other better, and not necessarily in the case of, oh, now I know you do this, I want you to change, but it's more of being able to live with it and understanding that that's who this person is.
Who this person is.
Yeah, that's who this person is, and understanding that. So I'm not expecting. So I already know what to expect in certain situations and circumstances. So I definitely think year two has been better, and yeah, and interestingly enough, we've probably had more challenges in year two.
Yeah.
But because now we know each other better, it hasn't affected us as it would have if it happened in year one when we were still getting to know each other. So yeah, that's good. Okay, so well, you spoke about it earlier, so maybe you're gonna get us started on that.
Oh.
How has it been? Sex?
I think it's been
Okay, sorry, before you go, while we're like going into like some of these details, because we can decide just like to skip some things, we're trying to be as real as possible and really to give you like in-depth, like candid, this is exactly like what goes on with us. This is sharing, really going deep and sharing, well, not too deep, obviously, within reason, but being candid and just being honest with you and trying to like bear as much as possible to hopefully like help you understand. So hopefully you get the heart of why we're sharing some of the things we're sharing, and sex is obviously like a big part of marriage. So yeah, we're just talking about it. I guess. So how's it been?
I'd compare sex to like buying a new car, probably like buying a muscle car or something, for those people that are interested in those kind of things. The first 1 year, or well, when you first get it, there's a whole lot of things to figure out, and then after you figured it out, then you can now start going on cruises. So I'd say that, sex has been more enjoyable, and then it's gotten better with time.
And I think one of the things I thought before we got married or before marriage, like thinking about sex, like it's so magnified that you think about it that, oh my god, like this is the thing, like you kind of almost see sex as it's going to happen every day, like every time, everywhere, like it's going, like marriage is going to be all about sex. But then since being married, I learned that there's a lot, like there are so many other things going on, like it's not just sex. So I think it's just one of the things that the devil really uses to, and then in hindsight you're looking back and thinking like, why was I so eager? And I guess it's just the thing about like stolen waters being sweeter. So like when Bible is saying like abstain, and that there is a time, there is a place for it, because you can have as much of it as you can. Literally take, I don't know, you can take the day off, you can take a week off because you want to have sex, and there's nothing wrong with that. But in marriage, for me, our sex being, I think it's pretty much echo what you said. It's gotten better. Also maybe also taking, I think initially I was at the beginning I felt like there was in my head somewhere I just kind of had this thing where I felt like there's a minimum amount of times that you should be having sex or making love or whatever, and so sometimes when we're not like meeting up due to whatever reasons, I'm kind of thinking, okay, we're falling back, we need to like, I'm making myself, whilst it's good to obviously like sometimes, it's not every time you're in a mood, and sometimes it's just really out of duty, like you have to like get on with it because you don't want to give any allowance to the devil to come in any way, but then I just also kind of dropping some of those expectations and just like allowing us to be us and really like see like what works for us. I think I definitely enjoy sex. I think I'm not one of those. And also, actually, let me just say this at this point. I think there are some ladies that find it difficult. This is something I cannot wrap my head around. They find it difficult to ask or initiate sex. And I just cannot get that. Like, for me, I'm like, it's just like saying you're hungry. Like, so you need to wait for him to ask if you're hungry before you're hungry, but you're just gonna keep quiet. I don't get it. I understand that it's probably more to do with maybe your upbringing and what you've been told. If they'll make it seem like, oh, if you're asking then you'll lose and you don't want to come across as this so I just don't get it. So if you're in that category, please, like, if you're hungry, if you want to initiate it, there's nothing wrong with that. I literally have no problems whatsoever initiate. In fact, sometimes I'm like, do me calm down, and then other times it's like a lot, and I'm just like, no, not today. But all in all, I definitely think No, I think I know, like I enjoy sex, and it's good.
And I think things for me, for especially as regards to men, is actually communicating because men, during sex, you can just easily get by and then have fun, but you need to communicate that is the lady enjoying it, how was it, talk through it, and then just to make sure that
Making me shy.
um, it's not just you that is getting there, she's also getting there and then she's enjoying
What
it.
are we getting to? Anyway, moving on. Okay, so what are the changes in? So I'm gonna say some of the changes in you in the past 2 years, and you're gonna go. I was thinking about this earlier. I was struggling. I think one of the changes, maybe physical changes, like you've changed. When I look at some of our wedding photos, I'm like, who is this man? Like, how do you change so much in 2 years? So I think you've changed physically better. Like, as in you look better now, and you looked good then.
Thank you.
Why are you gonna do this?
Thank you.
Changes. I feel like you're more expressive now than you were before. You used to try to. You're reserved. You're still generally reserved, more reserved than I am. But I feel like you definitely speak up more now, which is good because that was one of the things that used to frustrate me. And you just being quiet and keeping quiet, like I don't know. I'd rather speak. So I think you definitely speak more now. Those are the two that come to mind right now. Maybe you can go if I have any more. I'll come back.
Okay, I think the changes I've seen with you is that you have become. I feel like you've grown up, and you've become more emotionally mature, in handling things and just relationship with people, and then with myself. Yeah.
I agree. Okay, so what is the best thing about our marriage, from your point of view? What do you think?
The fact that we've got an open book.
Yeah, that was literally what I was gonna say.
Yeah, we're literally open book, and I think there was a message my pastor preached. I think 2 years ago or last year about are you building a
connecting marriage? It was just this year, I think.
No, it wasn't this year.
A connecting marriage.
Yeah.
This year, it was like a few months ago.
Okay. Are you building a connecting marriage or
disconnecting
marriage? And then one of the tools that we took from that was communication. So we literally communicate about everything and anything, and then we have an open book policy, which is pretty much that my phone is open, she knows my password, I know her password, bank accounts are open, we can access it, and emails, everything, social media, everything is open.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same. I was gonna say transparency, and I think that it has really helped us because one of the things I realized, I think it's a scripture, right? It says when it says sin, I don't know if it's a scripture, but sin thrives in secrecy.
Yeah,
and secrecy is like one of the things that the devil uses. So the moment you hide one thing, then bear in mind that thing you're hiding may not necessarily be something from the past. It may not necessarily be anything that has happened now. But then the devil kind of makes you want to hold back, and then it kind of builds on that till it becomes this massive mountain that now you can't talk about it. It's like this huge secret that you're just keeping away. But I think one of the things we've learned, and I've even told him, like, I might tell him, I said, honestly, like, even if it's to the point of like maybe you saw someone and you feel like, oh, you're attracted to the person, honestly, like, tell me. Or even if you did something, God forbid, like, that just like the moment at the first sight or at the first step, like whatever the first step is, just at that point, that's when you tell me. I'm not promising that I'm going to be quiet and calm and be like, oh, that's amazing, I'll kiss you through it. No, like, I may scream, I may shout or whatever, but like, you have to tell me, and like vice versa. And I've even had to be open, like, to him about like some things. I remember one conversation, I don't know if you remember this conversation, we had it like a few months after marriage, and we were like really opening up about some, I guess, deep things. I'll tell you about it later. Where it's difficult conversation to have with your spouse, but you need to
what's it regarding?
I'll tell you later. But you need to really, I think it's definitely really, really helps us just being open and
past relationship.
Sorry?
Was it about past relationships?
Kind of. They're actually two things, but yeah, that as well. Yeah, so definitely, I think that's one of the best part of our marriage. If you could change something about our marriage in the past 2 years, what would it be?
I guess for me, it'll probably be more about changing myself in terms of I've seen myself, mature, understand, communicate, be more expressive. I guess I could have done that from the beginning, Yeah, but there was a lot of healing that was needed, and then past experiences, and yeah, that I've gone through. But yeah, I think it would just be being a more expressive me.
And I think for me, it would be one of the things will be I feel like it will be that doing more things, so more like not more things really, more trips, like going on more trips, like before kids come. I feel like we haven't holidays going on more like holidays. I feel like we haven't fully maximized this time of it being just two of us.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that we haven't done, and we still have some time to do it. So we need to fix that. If I could change something, also maybe myself. I feel like sometimes I'm lazy.
What? Did you say something?
I feel like sometimes I'm lazy and I just like kind of maybe procrastinate. Do I procrastinate? Yeah, I procrastinate. I just kind of leave things and it's okay. Like sometimes I kind of wish that I'm this like amazing. Like all these like women or wives that will cook breakfast, lunch, dinner. They'll clean the house from morning to night. Like that's not me, honestly. Sometimes I kind of wish I was like that. Other times I don't really wish I was like that. But maybe like just doing a bit more, I guess. Okay. How do we resolve conflict?
Talk about it. Try not to. So sometimes we do sleep over it. Sometimes, but
Do we?
Yeah, it's not it's like the one-offs, that we can't resolve at that moment, and we're just like, okay, let's not talk about this. And then when it comes up again,
I'm actually trying to remember.
There's something that I remember that we spoke about, and then we thought we resolved it, but it wasn't resolved because the next time conversation came up, we still had to deal with it. But oftentimes it's just talking about it and then making sure that you listen. And I think for me, I've also learned that there are some things that I'm definitely sure that I'm right on this, but the Holy Spirit has taught me to let it go. We're not trying to win wars here. It's our marriage on the long run. So if I have an opinion that I'm definitely sure is right, and she thinks not, and I see that we're not going, we're not having a headway, I would accept. I would agree to it. And then in some cases, a couple of months down the line, a couple of weeks, Tommy comes and says, okay, yeah, you were right.
Yeah, I think there have been quite a few instances where like it's been a few months and then I will come back to that same conclusion, or just like, okay, or change and start doing it as is said. And most times it's been because then you basically just comes across as I now have an understanding of the thing, or God has now spoken to me about it, and then now I'm doing it from that perspective, not necessarily because he said so. What are the no-nos, or like what boundaries do we have concerning our marriage?
So to protect our marriage, obviously, because we do understand that the marriage is an institution set up by God, and anything set up by God, any good thing, always has the devil always has his his tongue. So for me, one of the decisions I made was I don't counsel ladies, especially not in. I don't counsel ladies alone. I could, send you a text message. I could send you, but for us to have, long conversations, I wouldn't do that by myself. I'll probably, transfer them to my wife, or have both of us there to talk about it, because I just understand that, no matter how strong you think you are, you need to keep boundaries. And then I don't engage in conversations with ladies, even, the ones that I could potentially be attracted to or not. I just don't engage in certain conversations. No, I don't. I hardly respond to DMs. A lot of people that are saying this, I used to be very, very active on social media. I cut off that. And I also made a covenant with my eyes. And this is strange, as strange as it sounds. I've made a covenant with my eyes not to build iniquity. So that means that there's sometimes that, I'm working with somebody and somebody sees something, but I don't even see it. And then when they tell me about it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I made a covenant with my eyes. And I think I also told you as well. Yeah, sometimes that we're driving past and then you see some things and you're trying to see it and I just don't see it. It's better for me.
I think one of the things that our boundaries or no-nos is whatever you tell me, like whatever I know, like he knows as well. And that's everything. So even if you're my friend and you tell me something, you can't tell me not to tell him. You can't tell me not to tell him, and vice versa. Like, so we're open with everything with each other and speaking to each other about everything. Even things that sometimes are seemingly not important. Just not hiding things. And also, I guess we mentioned it before, and it goes into the same point about, open everything policy, particularly phones. Just knowing that there's nothing that I can hide there. I can always read his messages. This is not to say I set out about my day, deciding I'm going to read messages today. If it comes up, fine. If it doesn't, there's just nothing. And I think it's just that security of knowing that I can always check it if I want to. So that already tells you that there should, as in, if it gets to the point where you're hiding your phone, then I don't know, there's more to, I guess, deal with. And it's just that trust. So just keeping our trust or keeping the trust that we have for each other and being intentional about it. I think that kind of wraps up all of the questions.
I've got one question. The question should be, what do you do that gets me from 0 to 10? No. Is what do you do that gets me from 0 to 10?
You mean in a negative way, right?
Yeah.
What do I do that gets you? Or what do you do that gets... So what do you do that gets... I think sometimes when you don't do things my way.
Yeah.
So if I'm oh, hurry up, or let's hurry up, we need to go somewhere, you're taking your time, you would aggravate me, literally sometimes just okay, you need to calm down, stuff like that. Or okay, actually this one even annoys me, I don't know why. If he's using his phone in the car, and then instead of typing in a direction or whatever, or an address, and then he's saying hello Bixby, drive to, I'm just type it, it's going to I just feel it would take a shorter time. I know these are silly things, and I have no business to do that. I shouldn't be trying to control how he behaves or what his preferences are, but sometimes just annoys me and try to keep quiet. For instance, I remember when we were going to Shiloh, and then you took a different
route.
Yeah, I took a different route. Oh, that really annoyed me. I felt like you're just wasting time. We didn't have the time. So I guess long and short of it is that sometimes when you don't do things my way, and when I decide that my way is the right way,
or the highway,
basically, I guess it's more of a character flaw on my part. But yeah.
Yeah, so what do you do that gets me from 0 to 10? I think you pretty much just said it. It's the fact that you just want things done your way.
It's not everything.
Well, it's especially when it comes with driving. You go that way, or exit the lane now, or indicate to exit. I don't want to exit yet. I want to keep going until I think I'm happy to exit. No,
but my point, to my defense, I'm looking out for other road users. If you're not telling them where you're going in enough time, and the thing is, if I feel like you're not doing the right thing, I should to point it out to you for the benefit of all. Okay, still on driving, we're at an intersection or something, a roundabout, and then I'm signaling to go a certain way, and then probably there's a queue in front of me. My wife just thinks that I should stop signaling because there's somebody in front of me that's already signaling because the sound is getting to her. Yeah, because where you are, for instance, if there's only a left turn, so there's no point. The light is just gonna it's a traffic, more like a traffic when you're at the traffic light. And then there's a car in front of me and I need to signal to go left. And then you're saying that because the person in front of me is signaling, I don't need to signal. My point is, I want to drive. This is the route I want to take. Please let me take the route I want to take. If you are driving, which you do realize that when you're driving, I almost keep quiet. As in, I'm just a closed book. I don't say anything. I just allow you drive. Congratulations. Thank you. You're welcome. Anyway, that brings us to the end of our video. We hope you've learned one or two things. We hope this has kind of been fun as well, entertaining for you. And yeah, if there are any questions, or let us know what you've enjoyed about the video. Let me know what you've enjoyed about the video. I think I may be doing one more video on marriage. I'm not sure. But yeah, please do leave a comment in the comment section on YouTube. A lot of people leave comments on other platforms. Please leave it on YouTube and share this video. Please share. Thank you so much for watching all my videos. I do appreciate it. Like this video as well.
Thank you for watching our videos.
Thank you for coming here.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
All right, guys.
Bye.